Hello. I just recently noticed that I was actually coming up on my 100th episode, and I decided to do something a little bit special and a bit different from what I've been doing lately in celebration of that. Um, I decided to do a little one-off of a game called Archon for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This also happened to coincide with a name change, as you may have noticed. Um, I will now be called Sorospa on YouTube, so that will be my official new name, replacing the one that I picked back in high school. So I think that's probably for the best. So, I'm Sorospa, and today I shall be your humble guide through Archon. So, let's give it a go. So, I don't really know how many people are aware of this game. I figure it's probably kind of obscure because I haven't really heard anyone talk about it. In fact, since I stopped playing it in person, I don't think I've ever heard it mentioned ever by anyone. So, it can't be all that common. And it's got a very nice little opening here with some very nice music. But I don't have a second player, unfortunately, so I'm just gonna go and play against the computer. Gonna be the dark side, because dark is awesome. So, what is Archon exactly? Well, basically you can see it's kind of being set up here. It's something of a board game, sort of. You can already see as it's coming together that it looks a little bit like chess. But it's not exactly chess. There's a few interesting rules that make it a little bit more complicated. So the basic idea is that we have all of these units that we can move around here, and they each have different rules of movement. And you have ground movement, which basically means you can take 3 steps. You have flight, which means you can move anywhere within 4 spaces away from you, even diagonally. And you have teleport, which I think works pretty much the same as flying, so I don't know why it's there. You also have a rather important unit, your sorceress or your wizard if you're on the light side, who can cast spells that can change the game in various ways. So, how do I cancel this? It was, I think I may actually have to go to the cancel selection here. There we go. And the other thing that distinguishes it from a typical board game is, well, why don't I just show you? Let's take a low value piece early on. So when 2 pieces meet on the board, they fight, just like this. I'm not off to a good start. So the basic idea is that in Archon, your goal is to defeat all the pieces on your opponent's side, or to capture all 5 of the power squares, which you can see as the kind of shiny spots at the edges of the map and the center. Now, as you can see, I cannot promise you that I'm going to perform well at Archon. I have never been particularly good at it, but I will give it my level best. Me and my cousin used to play the hell out of this game when we were younger, and there have always been a lot of things that were very mysterious about Archon. We found that, that the health of pieces seemed to change arbitrarily, and this was not just our young minds misunderstanding something obvious. But being an NES game, you know, pretty much none of the rules are really explained to you, and we had to figure it out pretty much on our own. But the color of the squares on the board changes, as you can see, and they actually matter. Basically, combat that takes place on light-colored squares gives the light side more health, and combat that takes place on dark-colored squares gives the dark piece more health. Which is probably why this guy parked on a light piece right here, right in the middle of my setup here. And so, in addition to moving it differently, you can see that each piece fights differently as well. And your pawn-type pieces, my goblins, in the case of my side, just kind of poke things. You know, you hit them with a stick or with a sword. And most other enemies, or most other units, just shoot a projectile. It's relatively simple. But there are a few that are a little bit more interesting, and I'll show you one of those. Is the Banshee, which does this weird thing here. It's basically, I guess, supposed to be kind of a scream. I am doing terribly at this game. I actually did a couple test games, and I didn't win those either, but I can promise you I did better than this. But this isn't really about winning Archon. It's more about just showing the game off, because it's definitely unique. The other thing to note is that, if I remember correctly, a unit standing on one of the power squares is immune to the, sorceress and wizard's magic spells. And this would be why your spellcasting unit starts on one of these, power squares. Is basically, you can't just start the match by screwing with your opponent's most important piece. They have to be, you know, stupid or desperate enough to move that piece off of the power square first. Wow, I am just... this is the worst. Maybe I should play 2 games just to show that I don't suck this bad all the time. I kind of do. That's not the point. So we're gonna see another interesting one. The Phoenix behaves a lot like the Banshee, except that it stops cold when it uses its attack, and it also is immune to all damage when doing so. Of course, it's also vulnerable afterwards. Another thing that makes Archon hard that isn't really evident from what you're seeing here is that each attack also seems to have sort of a cooldown, where if I press the button, it just doesn't go. And this can be kind of frustrating at times, because the cooldown actually seems to be inconsistent sometimes, where sometimes I can use an attack quickly, and sometimes I can't seem to use it, like, for a very long period of time with no clear reason why. It's just... like I said, when you're a kid and you're playing Nintendo games, sometimes the rules are just very mysterious, and you never really learn exactly what it all means. But I did actually give the manual a read, or not, I actually read a guide. I should have read the manual, but it did answer some of my questions, like why units have different amounts of health. I don't know if the cooldown thing, I think it might just be weird coding or something like that. But I talked about the sorceress's spells, and I already got one. It hit me. It imprisoned my shapeshifter, which means it's not going anywhere for a while. But let me show off some of my spells. And my favorite one, I think, is the Summon Elemental, which just flat out gives you a free unit that exists for 1 turn and can wreck your enemy's ship. If your elemental loses the battle, you know, it vanishes, but it's actually going to vanish whether it wins or loses, so it's just a matter of whether you eliminate a unit. So basically, you're just putting a hit out on one unit, and then once the elemental has finished its combat, win or lose, it just vanishes into the ether. Pretty cool, especially if you're good at the combat, which I'm kind of not. And I was actually hoping to show off the shapeshifter because it's actually the weirdest of the units. What it actually does is it becomes a copy of the unit it faces in battle, which can be good or bad depending on what unit you are actually fighting. If you're going up against one of these little knight guys, it might cause problems somewhat. It's unlikely to go well for you. But if you're going up against a pretty strong unit, sometimes your best bet is just to, copy it. Of course, Phoenix versus Shapeshifter battles are actually kind of funky because you've got both of them like bursting into flame where they're not really hurting each other, and it becomes rather slow and silly. But that's pretty much. I think I explained the whole premise. The other thing to know is that you can only use each spell once. So once you've used up your one elemental, that's the only one you get. Once you've used up your one revive, which I just did, that's it, no more. Sorry, Charlie. So you gotta use them wisely, and I was also told by this guide I found that the more spells you use, the lower your spellcaster's hit points are in combat. So if you actually want to, give them any amount of potency in battle, keep them alive, you want to use magic as little as possible. And so pretty much I'm just gonna, show you what the game is like and see if I can win, which I'm really not on track for that right now, but I seem to be making something of a recovery. Some units are actually, because they're just that good, sometimes you can just wipe through entire legions of enemies. Oh, jeez. See, it sucks when he does it. Actually, in my second test battle, I just had my dragon straight up go and kill the wizard immediately, and it worked, surprisingly enough. Which is probably the reason why I did the best at that one, but I figured I wanted to kind of not use cheesy tactics and actually, show you a bit more. Because, if I failed, it might have been kind of boring when I just lost a major unit. One of my least favorite light units to fight against is the unicorn, because its shots seem to go through obstacles, which most of them don't, and it also shoots fast. Jesus. It's a really good unit, and it's really hard to kill, especially because the unicorn itself is also really fast. So, unicorns tend to give me a bad time. But, so far this is, it's looking up a little bit. Oh, come on. Don't kill me with your dicky little sword. Here. There we go. That would have been an embarrassment. Not that it hasn't happened before. Let's go for broken. Can't reach it. Let's at least make it fight us on a dark side if we're gonna fight it at all. So, okay, so, I believe shift time, what that actually does is, like, it shifts the movement of the pattern of the squares, the way they change color. So, yeah, that's not something I'm probably gonna bother using, just because I'm not sure how to take advantage of that effectively. Hey, that did a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Apparently, trolls versus unicorns. Trolls have an advantage. The units tend to be kind of subtly different. Although trolls and golems are basically exactly the same in every way. But you know, you've got the shapeshifters, which are pretty unique, and the phoenix, which is also kind of a unique unit. But let's see. I think I will consider my board position after the outcome of this fight has been determined, because this is really going to determine whether I really have much power behind me. Taking out his genie would be a pretty big deal. Don't think that, no, I'm dead. So, we basically, for the sake of, you know, how much power I have, I basically may as well not count the goblins, because they're worthless. They don't do anything. So he's got 4 pieces to my 4 pieces, so we're actually pretty evenly matched. We even have the same number of useless pawns. Let's see. Are there any good spells I could use? I got one. Oh, I can't teleport in prison ones? Okay. Teleport. They're all on white squares, or light squares, I guess. Whatever. I'm just gonna go for broken do it. Let's keep this interesting. The thing about, golems and or trolls is that they're actually pretty good units. They're easy to use because their shot, even though their shot is slow, the CPU is really bad at dodging it. Whereas if you fight them, then you find that their shots are really slow, and it's actually pretty easy to kill to avoid getting hit in the face with them. So that's kind of an advantage here. The problem is when the computer gets its hands on the really fast units, like the unicorn. That's when it starts causing problems. That is unlikely to work, my friend, but I will eat another one of your knights if you really want me to. I kind of have a shot here, I think. I just have to do something, like, not momentously incompetent, and I think I might, maybe be able to do this. Do I dare take on the wizard himself? What spells do I have left? Heal, shift time, exchange, imprison. You know what? Screw you, Genie. I'm imprisoning you. Really want to kill me with those knights, huh? Alright. That was easy. Alright, so let's see what we got here. So I got, if I could take out this guy, that would be really good. Let's do this. Manticore versus Archer. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, this is starting to look up. I might actually have a victory on camera here. That would be fantastic. It all comes down to whether I can take out these last 4 units. Can I pull it off? Can I do it? I don't know about taking out the genie. This basilisk's kicking ass, so I think I'm just gonna keep at it. That was easy. Alright, that's 3 units left. Come on, let's do this. Hey, where are you going? Let me think. It might actually be in my best interest to, he's on a dark square. Yes, okay. This is what I want to be doing. Come on, Mortal Kombat, let's do this. Ugh. I can take you. You're not so tough. You're just a genie guy. wasn't really invested in the outcome of this fight, but now that I actually have a shot, I'm really getting intense. One way or another, I'm gonna have to take this wizard out. Because he's sitting on a power square. That's just no good. He's also casted a lot of spells, so his health might be low. That's pretty takeable, actually, if I can... No, man, come on. Oh, no, okay, just have to take out 2 units. Is there anything I can... Oh, he was freed from imprisonment. You know what? I'm gonna take this Valkyrie out, if I can. Do this. Not afraid of you. Your little spears. Oh, shit. That could have been my ace in the hole. Man, okay. This is super intense. Wizard teleported. No, that's not good. Power points are proof against magic. Yeah, so I can't cast any spell on something that's on a power square. I think I'm gonna stand on this one and see what happens. Oh. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. Neutral ground. Fuck! Why does he have so much health now? Shit! God damn it. I was doing so well. Oh, sure. You're just gonna pick up my pawns. Yeah, that's gonna be a fair fight. Yeah, that's about what I expected. No, it's not going down like this. You are going down, my friend. Here and now. Comes to this. No. Don't you... Oh, come on. Oh, no! Damn! Well, I have problems now. Yeah, I have some serious problems. And yeah, if it gets down to it, the game will force you to get into combat, or else it'll just tie the game. Come on. Beat the wizard to death with your little pathetic stick. Alright, yeah, I couldn't have expected a result other than that. You know, if I just cowered out, I can tie the game, but you know what? For you, for my loyal audience, I'm going to fight it out to the end. I'm not gonna chicken out. This is a fight to the death. He actually got a couple hits in. That's not too bad, actually. Alright, it's down to 2 goblins now. I think I am screwed. Man. If I'd just gotten a couple more key victories, I could have clinched it, but I guess it just wasn't in the cards. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done here. Let's see if you'll actually want to fight a goblin on Dark Square. You might not want to, because the AI can be finicky like that. Yeah, he's not just gonna kill me, he's gonna be a douche about it. You know what, I'm just gonna stand on this dark power square, so you see if you want to step on it. Oh, okay, you do want to step on it. Hey, we have roughly even health, that sounds fair. Oh, wow, I could have almost killed him off. That would have been funny if it would have been down to Goblin versus Wizard. But nope, it looks like the game is ended. 70 turns, light side wins. And the board fades out, and the credits roll. So, that was Archon. Definitely a blast from the past for me, because I have not thought about this game, like, at all. Probably around a decade, at least. But that was worth it, because this game was actually just as fun as I remember. It's actually no wonder that me and my cousin played it so much. So, that was episode 100. I hope you found this enjoyable and unique, because I don't think I've ever seen any game quite like Archon. And hopefully it can continue to bring you more unique and interesting games in the future, the next 100 videos. So I hope to see you then.